Good evening. It is, what day is it? My watch does not tell me what day it is. It is 5:15 on the 24th of June. Look at that sky. That is, like, I can get a better shot of it. Beautiful, just beautiful. And that ring light is ring lighting. But welcome to my very first creative diary, where I try and keep my ADHD brain accountable for my creative tasks. If you don't know me, I'm Emily, and I've been on a bit of a journey for 2025 to get my creative spark back, hence the name of the YouTube channel. I came off a very strong run of being super creative, back-to-back cabarets, shows in like 2022, or even probably longer than 2022, probably from like just after COVID, like doing at least one show, working on things, and producing my own stuff, and then had a complete another break last year in 2024, and I just had no drive. I had no drive to do anything creative. And so this year I set myself a goal to get my creative spark back. And I do that in all forms of art. So that's everything from working on new shows to reading books and going to the theater, watching movies, TV shows. Honestly, anything that brings me creative joy. And I'm typically one of those people who like, I go and do something creative. I go to the museum, or I go to see a show, go to see a cabaret, and I was like, I can do that. I could do that. Let's produce a show. Done. And then the ADHD drive kicks in. Like, I could write a screenplay. Why wouldn't I? So I've done, that's the vibe, right? I read a book. I could write a book. I couldn't write a book. Maybe, but it'll be a long time coming. But yeah, we're on a bit of a journey. We're on a bit of a journey this year. And I was doing really well for the first like few months of the year, and enough that like there are ideas coming. We've got a new show going at Fringe Festival in October. So there is things happening, but I fell behind on my movies. I fell behind on my creating videos about watching the 52 movies and just in general. And I now know that I need something to keep me accountable. So a weekly diary, video diary, is probably the way to go. A bit of vlogging, take you guys with me to do some fun things. And so, as I said, coming up, Fringe Festival rehearsals kick off in August, but through July I will be doing a lot of setup for that, so I will be sharing that. And then I'm still on my reading journey. I'm reading Powerless at the moment. I'm really enjoying it. I'm about 20% of the way through, and I'm just vibes. I mean, it's pretty much like every other enemies to lovers fantasy book, but you know what? Same story, different version, and I am enjoying it. I will read all of them. I will read them. So I'm actually doing really well on my reading this year. I've already read 14 books, and it's only June. This will be 15. This is the fastest I've read in a very, very, very long time. It's very exciting. Sorry, I keep looking at the opposite side of the screen. I don't know why. I don't know why I keep looking that way. I need to look that way. This is difficult. I don't know, I want to look at you guys. How do I look at you guys? Look at the screen, not at, Anyway, so yeah, we've got Fringe. We've got the second half of my TBR to read. We're getting back on the horse with the movies. I'm also doing we've got this thing in Australia called Stage Milk, which is like an online acting platform with lots of resources, and you film a monologue or a scene every month and submit it for feedback. You do a 20-minute work session with one of their like coaches. And so I've signed up to that, and I've been doing that for the last few months. So like I've got that I'm working on. Typical ADHD. I went from 0 to like, I must find everything. And then there's like downtime where I'm trying to like, I want to just do some coloring. I've got a couple of paint by numbers, like just things that like are calming for my brain. I'm also working on getting my official ADHD diagnosis. We're about halfway through the process right now, so that'll be interesting. Done all the starting work with my psychologist, but we've got to do the psychiatrist officially and get the proper like channels. So let's see how that goes. But yeah, there's a lot going on. So there's lots of things to do this week specifically. So I've just filmed some content for you guys. So I'm going to edit that now. I'm going to watch a video. I'm behind, so I need to watch the masterclass from Stage Milk tonight. And hopefully I will have one of the videos up, like my 52 movies in 52 weeks movie video up this evening. And then later in the week, we're going to see Beetlejuice. Yay! I'm so excited to go and see Beetlejuice. So yeah, we'll go and see Beetlejuice. I'll talk about that at the other end. And yeah, plenty of other things. What other things I've got to do this week? But I've got dance class tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm just gonna start taking you with me on bits that I remember to film. How much will my ADHD let me? Because, you know, sometimes I just forget to pick up my camera. I'm like, I wanted to vlog that. That would have made a great vlog. I forgot. I need to take more content is the general consensus. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna sit here now and I'm going to edit the video. I would film, but I film on my phone and I edit on my phone. So let's do a little bit of that. And yeah, let's get going. But we're off to Beetlejuice. I am so excited. I'm so excited. I wanted to see this since it came out on Broadway. What, 6 years ago? Yes, it's so very exciting. I think it's gonna be great. So let's go to Beetlejuice. Okay, it's now Sunday. It's Sunday afternoon. I haven't had as much chance to vlog as I would have liked. However, I want to talk about, I obviously didn't get a chance to debrief after going to see this thing, and this was so good. Why have I got, whoa. The sun is like reflecting in my irises. That's a weird experience. I don't know what to do about that. Can't do anything about that. By the way, I know I'm in the same jumper. It has been washed. The other video I took was like 3 days ago. This has been washed. I'm just a bit in my dopamine obsessed new jumper era. But we went to see this on Thursday. I didn't get to take a lot of content while we were there because I was there with people who are not particularly don't like to be on camera, things like that. But oh my God, when I say this is the best thing we've had in Melbourne in a while, like, oh, homegrown content for one thing. Eddie Perfect wrote this and then is obviously starring in it in Australia. And honestly, it was just 10s across the board. Like, we had an understudy for the role of the husband of the dead couple, who is Adam. So we had an understudy for Adam, but he was still fantastic. There was no weak links in the performances. The music was great. The set design was insane. The set design, the costuming, the music, like the book, everything. Like, it was so fun. It was just such, it wasn't taking itself seriously. It was just a good time at the theatre. And I had a grin on my face the whole time. And trust me, I go and see things. I went and saw Lord of the Rings the musical a couple months ago. That was not the experience that I had at Beetlejuice. But we're just in a run of really good theatre shows as of late, which is really exciting. It's so exciting. So I'm literally about to walk out the door to go and see, we've got Hedwig and the Angry Inch here at the moment. And I'm seeing Hadestown on Thursday. I do not usually go to the theatre this much. I am lucky enough to see a lot of shows, and I have seen a lot of things because I've been savvy and been able to get a lot of like cheap tickets over the years, but also I've had friends who work in like ticketing companies and have seen a lot of things for free. We have paid for all of the tickets that I've seen recently. So I went to Jesus Christ Superstar a couple of weeks ago. That was actually surprisingly fantastic. I mean, I like Andrew Lloyd Webber. Phantom's my favorite show, but it was excellent. Like, I did know the guy playing Jesus, so that maybe was a little biased, but like, fantastic. And now I think we saw Beetlejuice on Thursday, and I cannot recommend that more, especially for people who are not musical theatre people. It is just a grand old time at the theatre, and anybody would enjoy it. It's so fun, and the jokes are like dark but funny. And it's bright and colourful, but if you have trouble with strobe lights, don't go, because it was a lot. And then, Hedwig and the Angry Inch today, Hadestown on Thursday. We've gone through a bit of a run in Australia where we've just had a lot of repeat shows, or a lot of just gimmicky jukebox musicals. And don't get me wrong, I love a jukebox musical. They're a lot of fun, and Juliet was fantastic. I love Jersey Boys. I love Mamma Mia. Like, I love a jukebox musical, but we've just had a lot of that as of late, and we haven't had a lot of the newer shows over the last, like, post-COVID new shows come, and it's very exciting that we just had a run. We had a run of shows, and like, my little theatre girl heart is very happy. Anyway, how are we going creatively? Not so great. Not that I haven't done, I've actually focused a lot on the channel this week. So I've posted 2 videos, we're doing the vlog. I had a lot of trouble with getting the last video up because for some reason it just wasn't loading. It was like cutting off the last 3 minutes. So I spent most of my morning trying to fix that. But next thing on my list is obviously I need to do some body doubling. I think for my ADHD, it's kind of using this vlog as like a body double situation, because obviously with ADHD sometimes we just need a body double just to get things done. So because there's definitely a few things I need to get done for Fringe this week coming up. But yeah, basically what we're gonna do tonight after I get back from Hedwig is I really need to sit down and work on the song list for the Villains Cabaret for Fringe, because we need to get that submitted to APRA. So basically, for anyone, I'm just going to give everyone a bit of a rundown as we go of how Fringe works, and how you go putting a Fringe show up, because this is, it's new for me. Produced cabaret shows, but not for Fringe. So I'm learning a lot as we go. And when you do a cabaret with other people's songs, as long as they're out of context, usually it's fine, but you're better off so APRA's like, you submit it for the rights. sometimes when I did my first cabaret, it came back and I had like one song I had to pay for. Everything else was fine to just use in that context. But especially for Fringe, we have to submit everything, do everything above board, submit it all through. So I need to get that set list organized ASAP. So that's what we're working on right now. And I keep putting it off because I get distracted by other things, but we need to do that this weekend. We need to do that tonight when I come home. God, hoping. If I have the energy, that is going to be the plan for tonight. Okay, slight change of plan in the way that I'm not going to wait till I get home. I've got 35 minutes till I need to leave. I was going to do the dishes, but I feel like I might be better off doing this for 35 minutes and doing home stuff when I get home because, yeah, I reckon when I get home I'm going to be tired. So, do 35 minutes of Fringe prep now so we have time later. Because who am I kidding? I really want to stay home, and when I want to come home, I want to eat dinner and I want to watch The Bear because that's an acting masterclass, that show. I want to watch The Bear. I'm 2 episodes in. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Great. All right, let's do this. My dad just sent me a message being like, lunchtime with Emily, and he's watching the new video. Oh, bless him. Oh, I'm like, oh no. I'm like, okay, so conscious, but no, that's really nice. Bless my dad. He is the best dad on the planet, just for the record. Okay. I need my iPad. So basically, to explain, when you put a cabaret together, so I know a lot of people probably haven't done that before. So this is good learning content. After we finish Fringe, I might do like a whole series on how you produce a show, but like we'll see. We're learning as we go. God, you can hear the chaos in my brain. It's chaotic. It's always chaotic. Too many things. Concentrate. Having trouble concentrating right this moment. Where was I going with this? The concept when producing these cabarets is, it started off as Broadway Obsessive Disorder, and it was quite literally like a, how do I explain it? It was a one-woman show where I just spoke about what I didn't know then was obviously ADHD the hyperfocus, H part, and like how I would just deep dive on musicals and just become deeply obsessed with certain ones. So like I'm talking Mary Poppins when I was very, very little, Phantom of the Opera, Into the Woods, like Wicked, like deep dives. And so I did a whole one-woman show that I produced that was just like me at the Butterfly Club here in Melbourne, just singing songs. Just songs I wanted to sing, songs from shows that I loved. And they've kind of progressed from there. And usually just, most of them have started and like we've just sort of picked songs that we wanted to sing that worked with the theme. Like we did a quartet one, which kind of was just all of us still talking about why we were obsessed with Broadway. Divas was obviously anything that was big, belty, sassy kind of female songs. The Christmas one was just Christmas numbers because that was fun. And then we did Last 5 Years. So this one is actually, we've based and we've thought about the theme and what we want each character. We're creating characters instead of being ourselves, like heightened versions of ourselves. So we're creating characters, we are building on them, and then we are picking songs that work with those characterizations. And each one of us 4 is sort of deep diving into what it means to be a villain and why people see you as a villain. What, like, you're always the villain in someone else's story. Is it villain's origins? Are they actually bad? Are they just like say Elphaba is, she's the villain, she's made out to be the villain but isn't one. So each of us is like exploring that kind of theme with our characters, not in an overall story arc, just that's each one of us is going to have a theme that we work around with the numbers that we see. So that's making it a little bit more complicated in what we're picking, because they really have to like sort of tie into the overall theme rather than be just songs that we want to sing. So I'm currently working on that. I have some ideas for some of us. Obviously there's a lot of great Disney villain songs. However, we're not going to get away with doing multiple Disney songs. Otherwise, it's going to have to be a Disney style cabaret, and it's going to cost us from Disney. So we can only really pick one, or maybe do like a little like Disney medley, which I think is probably going to be the way to go. Anyway, this is me processing. This is verbal processing, guys. You're just hearing me figure out what we're doing. Also, why can't I spell villain? I can never seem to spell it correctly, which is a problem.